G'day guys, welcome to Rumball's Fish Room. So today I said I was going to do something fun, and to me fun kind of means getting a little bit nerdy. Not too nerdy, just a little bit. I want to put a light on Frankentank. It doesn't have a light at the moment. Couple of videos I've done, I've like dragged the light out of the other room and like dragged it in there, and it's a pain in the bum. So the first challenge is finding the light. I've got some leftover LED strip, but it could be anywhere. So I'll be back. I'm pretty sure it's in this rack somewhere. Alright guys, don't you just love it when you look around the house and you find every single thing you need? Really the win I needed this week. I found a piece of aluminium channel. So this is what all my lighting sits in. The whole fish room is this 10 by 20 aluminium channel. We've got some leftover light strip. So I think this is it. This is the last piece. So when I do my standard 2 foots, I will need to buy some more. I still haven't sourced some standard 2 foots. I still haven't even taken photos of the 2.5 foots to advertise them. I'll do it one day, I promise. Alright, so I'm going with a pretty thin gauge wire, just because I'm only running this one light off this wire. The rest of the room is on a lot thicker gauge, but the wire runs multiple strips. So this one doesn't have an end on it. So basically what I'm going to do is solder this on and then coat the end in silicone, because you can see my lights, they're not like silicone covered, they're in a silicone case. So they are a lot more waterproof than the crappy eBay stuff, but the only downfall is the end caps do leak. So on all the end caps, I actually took them off and siliconed them. So let's solder this wire on here. It's a 2-hand job, but alright guys, so I soldered it off camera, A, because I'm not a very good solderer, and B, because if you want to learn, look it up on YouTube, because I'm far from like a pro, and when I've soldered on camera before, you guys have all let me know how dodgy I am. If you look at it, it doesn't look too bad, but I had no flux and I was really struggling to get the solder to stick to the cable. There's definitely some sort of residue on this speaker cable, but it doesn't matter, it'll work for us. I gotta find my scissors. I can't find my scissors or anything to cut this for that matter. So I'll cut this to length and then we'll go put it in position. Alright guys, we're getting the good stuff on the end of this. Oh, that's been pulled through there. That's actually not that bad. That means that the join's inside the silicone housing. So we're getting the good old Bostik silicone here, because I don't have any cheap stuff. But, well actually, to tell you the truth, the Bostik is cheap, but it's good cheap, not shitty cheap. Shouldn't wipe that on that table. The table's actually in pretty good condition. Alright, so see how the silicone's gone right in that casing. Then do the other end. Just make sure she gets filled up in there. Yes, I'm using my electric caulking gun because my other one's in my car, and we just use what's in the vicinity if possible. Alright, so now take this in there. Alright, and there's actually a surprise in Frankentank that I want to show you guys. It's a controversial pair in one of the tanks. That's all I'll say for now. If you want to find out what's in there, you have to stick around to the end of the video. Alright guys, so I ran the wire across and then I started untaping this wire. One slightly disappointing thing, this wire actually snapped. You can see it's like corroded there. It's that's my bad, because I didn't actually silicone these or anything. I just taped them. I should have really got the waterproof fittings. You can see this one here. See how these caps that I was talking about, they're not actually waterproof. I'll get some silicone on there too, but I'm gonna have to try get this wire out and rehook all this up. The main problem is I'm so confined to this tight space, I can't actually pull it out. Or can I? No, I don't think so. It's what it is. I have to just try reach in there. I might try free up the cable a bit. I can get this one down like that. Oh sweet, that's far enough out for me to work with. Alright, I don't really think I'm going to wire this on camera. I've got no tripod here and I'm in a tight little corner. Alright guys, so it's all wired up. I haven't mounted it yet, but let's test to see if it works. This is the switch here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Boom! I had a little bit of doubt there, but it worked. Positive vibes, guys. Positive vibes. I actually slept last night from 8:30, literally 8:30, until 4:30, and I'm way more positive today. So we're winning in that sense. How are we going to attach this light? Probably just a cable tie or two. I don't know. I'll get some cable ties and then we'll have a look under there. I don't think I've got any of these hooks left, and also that gap there is a bit smaller than, oh no, it's actually not any smaller than this one, but I'm not going to hook it. I'm going to cable tie it just because I want to. Alright guys, there we go. Light mounted. So in case you guys haven't realized the theme of my fish room, everything is central. So the lighting, there's a central lighting system. There's basically a cable around the whole room where I can tap into for the lights. All the lights run off one system. Now I've only just today, like right now, made this realization in my head, by the way. So then you've got all the way up there where those two black dots are, we've got a central air system. So I can just plug any air line in anywhere. We can have like air stones just chilling in the tank like that. Which is kind of ironic because this tank here, I've got an air stone like running across the room for some idiotic reason when it takes me like 2 minutes to run a proper airline. So I do have to add an airline to this tank. But anyway, let's not critique my dodgy lines running around the room. And then underneath that one, where that big mess of cable hoses there is, that's a water line. So there's central water. So there's fresh water coming into every single tank. Also, except for this tank, I haven't run the water line to this tank yet. And honestly, it just makes life so much easier. Like you guys just saw, I added the light to that tank. That took me all of 40 minutes to tie that in. And like that light I'm using is $70 for 5 meters. Actually, I think it might be $70 plus tax, so like $80. So yeah, like if you're building a fish room, do anything you can central. So basically lighting, air and water and drainage. There's a central drainage system, which is that pipe there. So we've got 4 central systems. What's going on there? Check out that. Hang on. See that's roots. So this window here drips, and that's actually roots growing up to the drip. I need to lay some poison down here because we've got the Gumtree roots. Jumanji, you guys know all about Jumanji. I think I explained this before, but this tank, I put it on plastic slides. Let me zoom back out. And so I can actually drop the water in this tank, say drop it 3/4 and slide this whole rack forward, because there's a load of plumbing behind this tank that needs to be serviceable. All the daily watchers, you'll know what's behind there because we were behind there recently. But for those who don't, that's the reason this tank is on the ground and not on like a frame like that, because I didn't want to put it on a frame because I wouldn't be able to get the frame in and out. I could have done the frame on wheels, but also I didn't want to lose too much height here. So, because see, this rack here is actually way lower than them, so I didn't have the clearance and all that jazz. There's a lot of reasons behind why this tank is done the way it is, and there's not a very good reason for it being as dodgy as it is. I just felt like being an idiot and making something crazy. For anybody who doesn't know, that tank is 30 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 150 centimeters, so almost 2 foot by 2 foot by 1.5. This tank here is only 38 centimeters, I think it was, tall, and so it's actually on blocks. And if you look here, this tank doesn't have an end. There's only a single end. So if you miss the build of this is glued to the side of that tank. Oh, and also for anybody who was wondering about that patch, I know there was a few people that thought it was skeptical. The patch is holding up well, and at least it's a bit of peace of mind. This way I know the tank won't crack. And also see how it's behind the leg. So like, you have to really, you can't even tell the patch is there. So it was definitely worthwhile patching that, even though it wasn't broken. It's a great fail safe. Anyway, let's turn this light off. I've got the light on for some reason. Alright, so I'll tell you about what's in this tank. This might be a bit controversial. I probably, if Julian's watching this video, he'll probably get annoyed at me. There's a couple of people that are Red Texas passionate that will get annoyed. But basically, if I can get this filter out of the way, not put my finger in there. So that boy at the back there is a Red Texas, non-faded, and the one in the girl in the front is actually a flower horn cross Texas. I don't know if that classes it as a Red Texas hybrid or whether it just classes it as a flower horn cross Texas. Maybe somebody could answer that in the comments. Now obviously guys, F1 Red Texas, 90% of the time the males are infertile. So, oh, and also it's not faded, but this Red Texas, this flower horn cross Texas carries the faded gene, and I'm guessing all Red Texas carry the faded gene. But anyway, so the point here is, if I get these two to breed and the boy does lay boy does fertilize the eggs, I'll have myself some F1 Red Texas hybrids that I can grow out and have a look at, and B, I know the male's fertile and I can actually try and find a F1 Red Texas girl, but my hope of him being fertile are pretty much slim to none. So I'm pretty much not banking on it, but we'll see what happens. If he's not fertile, I might even go for F2 flower horn cross Texas, because if you guys know, I've actually got a few of them. But yeah, I don't even really know why I crossed the flower horn in Texas. Originally when I did it, my plan was to breed the flower horn cross Texas back into the flower horns, but at this stage I've realized that that's 3 steps backwards, and there's no point in breeding an F1 Texas cross flower horn into my line of flower horns. It'll definitely be 3 steps backwards. So they're kind of just chilling up the top in the VHL tank. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. Obviously this one here, I'm using it as a tool. It's quite handy. The girl, when she was up in the VHL tank, she was showing a lot of red. I picked the reddest one up there. But down here, they're not showing much red. Also, they've just been in a dark tank for a few days, and we've only just put a light on. So the only thing, I know nothing about Red Texas, so even if they breed, I don't even know which ones to select. Whether whether it matters if they're faded or not and all that sort of jazz. So I think I definitely just need to find out whether he's fertile for now, and then from there decide what I do. If he's not fertile, I'll either sell him or cull him, and I'll probably just cull all the flower horn across Texas. Or just, I probably won't cull them actually. I'll just leave them up in the VH tank, because at this stage, that tank is just a display now. Do you want to go up and have a look at the VH tank? I'll show you what's up there. Alright guys, so that was meant to be the end of the video, but we're on our way up to the VH tank. But this is going to be tomorrow's video, I think. This is a little special squirrel thing going on in here. But you'll have to keep guessing at what's in there for now, because there is something new in there. Alright, so the tank's looking pretty feral. I swapped this filtration over, and that filter's not really doing well enough for the tank, so I need to add some more. But hang on, do you reckon we turn some lights off? Let me have a look here. Work out what switch we need. This one? Oh, we can't turn lights off, guys. The tank we want to look at is on that circuit. My bad. I don't even know how my own lighting system works. Sorry if this is turning into a long video, but I want to show you some fish. I don't show enough fish on the channel, I reckon. What do you guys reckon? I know that you guys think that, because you tell me that sometimes. So I've got a red terror. I'm pretty sure it's a male. I could be wrong. I know that usually when they got the black barring, they're females, but I think he's just barred up because he's so stressed out in this tank. Like the VH just own the tank, and they chase him all the time and stuff like that. We've got a few flower horn culls in there. Definitely don't critique the flower horns in there, because I pretty much throw the culls in here and it's World War III. So there's another Texas hybrid girl there. There's a Texas hybrid boy here. Then over there we've got pretty big Synspillum. By the way guys, I'm calling these guys what they are, but we all know that most of the VH in Australia are hybrids. So I say Synspillum, but just take that with a grain of salt, because whether they really are or not is another subject. And then, so basically the only ones in here that I will call something really is the Synspillum. There's 3 different bloodlines in here, but the other 2 bloodlines are definitely hybrids, and the Synspillum are possibly the only one that maybe could be pure. And I'm kind of leaning towards the Synspillum being pure, because they've got that red face, and like all the Synspillum that are in there are consistent. So one way to tell if VH are hybrids, if you look at siblings, so like brother, there's a brother down there. I mainly say brother because the boys have smashed all the girls, and the boys is what's surviving in here. I also think that one's a brother. So if you look at them all, they're all extremely different. So if they were a pure strain of Synspillum, they wouldn't be all so different. Basically, I've learnt this through flower horns, but when you hybridize fish and then you breed them, the hybrids will throw different colors and different shapes. Whereas if they were a pure VH, they would throw like darker shades and lighter shades, but they would be more consistent in the areas of the markings, if that makes sense. So if you ever buy a fish and you're worried about it being a hybrid, that's a really good way to tell if it is or not. But if you look at all the synspilum, they all look the same. See, like, I'm not using my words here, sorry. So there's a hot little tip. I don't know how we ended up on this subject. Oh, and also I've got a flower horn fader. It was a cull, but it's faded, and I'm low-key thinking about pulling it out for my fader boy, but I'm still on the fence about it. That's why it's still in this tank. If you look here, I don't often show culls on the channel. I probably should more, but you can see how low grade this flower horn is. Definitely a fish that I wouldn't even give away for free. There's a couple up there. Like they're definitely not keepers. I kind of really should do a video one day. I've done one a long time ago, but I should pull a heap of the culls out and do another video on them. But yeah, I need to change the food up on these guys. I've been feeding them aquaponics pellets, but it's really not good for them. You can see the red finnage and the red nose. I think I explained this about a week or two ago on a video, but so like that red finnage is actually from a blood issue, and it's actually from using cheap food. So even though this is a tank full of like hybrids and culls, I'm probably going to put them on extreme, because I don't really think fish deserve to live with blood infections. To be honest, I wouldn't even feed the food to aquaponics fish, but it was some free food that I got from a sales rep. So I was feeding it to these guys, and I was also feeding it to the polystigma, and that's when they got sick. So guys, quick little plug while we're here. Extreme food, you can't go wrong. I can't show you the packet of the aquaponics food because I don't have it anymore. It's just in a bucket, but you literally can't go wrong with extreme. This is, I'll show you the food, but I can't show you the packet. This is it here. It's just in a bucket, and so you can't really tell from here, but the reason that tank is actually so dirty is because this stuff powders up, and when I pour it in there, they're just like, it's like 80% pellets, 20% powder, and the powder is what clouds the tank. Anyway guys, I'm super happy with that light. The tank looks fresh. The tank actually cleaned up really well. In the garden I thought it was going to be super ugly, but it looks really, the front glass looks clean. I think maybe because the front used to be the side, and the side that I actually cut off was really scratched, so the sides weren't as scratched, but now the sides are the front. But anyway, thanks for having a good old listen there. It's good having a bit of a chat to the camera. Hopefully you guys can actually see how not so tired I am today. It was a real rough start to the week. But anyway, let me know what you think about the ending of this video, just talking about a tank. I've seen several comments in the last couple of months saying that you want to see the fish more, so positive feedback on that would result in me doing more videos like that. Tomorrow's video is about fish, so that's kind of another video just about fish. But I think I persuade the channel. The channel on YouTube reflects like a flower horn channel, and I'm so far from just a flower horn breeder that it's not funny. if anything, flower horn is actually 20% of my room. We'll just say other, including stingrays and Africans, is 80% of the room. So that's an interesting fact for you. There's actually only 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks in here out of like 40 or 30 something that have flower horns in them inside the fish room. They're all out there in on the street. We'll call the shed the street. I am thinking about selling a few of my African colonies to make more room for flower horns, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that yet. But flower horns are Africans are my favourite, so I'd feel sad selling any of them. I don't know. It's tough decisions. I guess I could clear out the VH tank and get rid of everything in there. And I could divide that and use that as a flower horn tank. Because it's kind of silly to have a display style tank in a fish room. Well, it's not silly, it just feels like a waste of a tank. And also, if you've made it this far into the video, guys, I'm gonna be giving away a flower horn. It's only going to be Perth based. And yeah, just that's all you need to know for now. It's going to be within the next week. I'm kind of sick of selling fish at the moment, as I said in yesterday's video, so I'll just give them away for free. Seems better idea. But anyway, if you're subscribed, you meet the requirements. If you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, hit the little red button down there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.